Hey everyone, Mr. Sujano here, your source for gaming, tech, emulation, and open source news. Let's get started. Alright, we'll kick things off talking about Nintendo Switch emulation on Android with Strato. If you remember, Strato is a continuation of Skyline, and there's a very big rumor that Strato is about to get its first release. So according to the ASV, which stands for Subscribe to Mr. Sujano, someone asked, is it certain that the Strat will be launched tomorrow? And they answered, yes. If so, approximately what time? And they say they haven't decided a set time for it. Now, there are a few things I want to say here. First and foremost, and I think this is the Strato Discord, when someone asks when Strato is going to release, they say tomorrow, or they say Tuesday or a Thursday or something. And that's been the running joke for ages. I'm pretty sure it's the Strato Discord. The second thing I want to say is that this emulator is still in development. So if it does release, it's not going to be perfect. It may be on par with Yuzu. It may be behind Yuzu, but it's not going to be perfect for every single game for every single device. And the third thing is that I'll drop a link to the Strato GitHub in the description below and feel free to check it out. Within that link is a link to their Discord. If you join their Discord, be respectful, be patient. Don't get angry. Don't ask a million questions on when it's going to release. Treat the community with respect. So again, be patient with Strato. It may not be perfect out of the gates. It may take a while, but let me know your thoughts about Strato in the comments below. Next up, this one's a surprising one. Arcade Archive Special Forces Jackal will be launching on Switch and PS4 on June 27th. And this was known as Top Gunner in North America. Next up is a quick update about the Nintendo leaker situation. So if you remember a while back during a Nintendo Direct, a very well-known leaker didn't leak anything. And it turned out that someone had backdoor access to Nintendo's website or YouTube account for stuff that was about to go live. And they were asked about this one in a shareholders meeting. Now this is done through Google Translate, so it may not be perfect, but the question is, there was also a story about an insider taking information on YouTube. I would like to know what kind of investments you are making and what measures you have in place regarding information security. And here's Nintendo's answer. There's not a whole lot to it. We have become aware of the specific issues pointed out through media reports and other sources. We work with specialist companies to diagnose information security and take various other measures. The company has introduced information security management as part of its internal information security system, and is also working on continuous education for employees. So there you have it. Not only is Nintendo spending money on lawyers, they're also now spending money on information security. Next up, we're quickly talking about an Xbox patent that was discovered. It's called the Keystone, and it's a cloud streaming console. Now this Keystone device was initially spotted back in 2022 on Phil Spencer's shelf, and I think we talked about this one in a previous video. But now we've got the patent. So the good news is that we have the information about it, but the bad news is that the Keystone was canceled. So it was canceled after Microsoft was unable to price it reasonably. Now for those close to Microsoft stuff, you probably have known this has been canceled for a while. If this has just popped up on your radar, I'll drop a link to a very good article in the description below and feel free to check it out. And I'll drop a link to the article about the patent in the description below in the event that you're curious about it. Next up, Capcom just dropped a trailer for a game I think a lot of people will be excited for. Dead Rising Deluxe Remaster, and I'll drop a link to the trailer in the description below, and I do recommend checking it out. Unfortunately, I don't have a whole lot of information about this one. I don't know the price nor the release date. The only thing I know is that it's coming to the newest generation of gaming platforms, whatever that means. Next up, we're talking about Steam, and Steam has just launched something very interesting that I think a lot of people will be excited about, and that is game recording, a new built-in system for creating and sharing your gameplay footage. Record, replay, clip, and share. For recording, they say here, with background recording mode, your gameplay is continuously saved to your preferred drive, never exceeding your specified duration and storage limits. An on-demand recording mode with manual start and stop is also available. On top of that, there's also timeline and event markers, and it says the Steam timeline appears whenever you're actively recording. Timeline enhanced games generate event markers as relevant game events happens. Steam achievements and screenshots automatically create markers as well. Now, if you're curious about this new feature, it has not hit the mainline version of Steam just yet, but it is on the Steam client beta that was launched on June 26th. I'll drop a link to this in the description below and feel free to check it out. And yes, it does work on the Steam Deck. And speaking about Steam, next up we're talking about Hori. And Hori has announced the wireless Horipad for Steam. They say it's got Bluetooth, direct input, and X input compatibility. It will have a 12-hour battery life, and there is a dedicated Steam button. What I am kind of concerned about is they say they've got an app, so I'm curious to see how this integrates with the Steam Deck and also Linux. I mean, apps on Windows are normal, but apps on Linux don't always work very well. Let me know your thoughts about this one in the comments below. Would you be interested in a dedicated Steam controller from Hori? And continuing to talk about Linux and now speaking about sales, next up we're talking about System 76. So not only did System 76 unveil their brand new Cosmic logo, they've also got a brand new Cosmic Freedom sale. If you are curious about this one, I'll drop a link in the description below, and I do recommend checking it out. I like System 76, I like what they're doing in the Linux space. And they've got sales on PCs, laptops, keyboards, and possibly even more. And on a quick side note, based on some of the comments from my System 76 Starter Pro review, it appears a lot of people would prefer a discrete GPU in the laptop as opposed to integrated graphics. And they do have a lot of laptops with dedicated graphics or discrete graphics, NVIDIA GPUs. Next up, we talked about this one yesterday, but now we've got even more information about it. So we talked about the original Resident Evil that launched on GOG, the uncut version of it, and now we've got Resident Evil 2 and 3 as well, all in one bundle. So for Resident Evil 1, 2, and 3, they all say their version of the game keeps all the original content intact. I'll drop a link to this in the description below and feel free to check it out. It's up over on GOG, which means there's no DRM on these things. Next up, we're quickly talking about Nintendo Switch emulation again, and this time with Luigis Mansion 2 HD and Ryujinx. Now this game has just released and there's already a 60 FPS mod for this one. I'll drop a link to this YouTube video in the description below in the event that you wanted to check it out. The game runs at 30 frames per second on the Switch, but looks real good at 60 frames per second. The mod is up over on GameBanana.com, and being truthful, although it does look real good, it looks like the game is running a little bit too fast, but I'll let you be the judge of that. Let me know your thoughts about that in the comments below. And last up, we're quickly talking about King of Fighters ALLSTAR on mobile, and this game is shutting down as of October 30th of this year. If you haven't played this game before, it's free to play and arguably pay to win. It's a gacha game, and there's a ton of stuff to do for free. It's actually one of those games that I don't mind because there's so much free stuff to do, and I don't think I've spent any money in this game. Now, it's unfortunate because there are some people who spent quite a bit. This game requires an online connection, and once it shuts down, well, that's about it. In my opinion here, they should just do an update to make it offline, open up all of the content, and if they wanted to make money on it, just charge a fee to buy the game in the first place. I mean, that seems like a viable option. I don't know though. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. But anyways, that is all I've got for you in this one. Straight to the point, all stuff and no fluff. We talked about a bunch today. Let me know your thoughts about absolutely any of it in the comments below. If you like this video, leave a like. If you didn't like this video, leave a like. Hit that subscribe button, check out my other videos. Don't tempt fate, save your state.